Let's talk about the great architect of the universe, because this goes back into how these controllers are able to keep us divided while they stay united. Now, the things they get us to emotionalize, over emotionalized about, and get us into going to war over are the things that they just joke about. They don't take them serious. Masons, when they meet up, they all have different religions and different forms of backgrounds of belief systems. But when they become Masons and learn the secret, they're taught to keep those belief systems to fit into society and keep the dialectic and the matrix going. In fact, they're taught to strengthen it. This is what a Mason is, part of their duty today. So they meet up in these congregations and they have intellectual debates that actually strengthen their camaraderie. They don't take the beliefs as serious as the soldiers that's killing each other, who they train to be indoctrinated. They understand the esoteric meanings behind them and the syncretism, and they're already united. So there's a race for like-minded people to gather in masses and gain control over the masses, because that's the steering wheel. It only takes a few good men that's working together with one mission to control the entire earth. So they would need a deity to bring forth that unity. They would need something they all can agree on sustains us all, meaning the earth. So we have our own society apart from society based upon they're the sheeple. So when you hear we the people, that don't include you the sheeple who believe in the fake reality created by the real people who run this earth. They able to unite. And you got to think about something. No matter what religion a Mason belongs to, when they get buried in the ground, their funeral is a Masonic tradition, showing you that their Masonic religion overpowers their society or their pseudo religion. So a pseudo religion would be any form of the belief systems, major belief systems of the world. That's a pseudonym of the real creator. All of these different deities that divides humanity and keeps them from seeing the one source. And the name of that source should be a universal name, since the creation of the creator is universal, which leads to the great architect of the universe, which is the name of the creator that unites all Masons. And when you think about it, the word arch is what bonds it together. If you look at this term, the great architect of the universe, we don't have to get into the name universe because we're very familiar with that, dealing with this architect is universal. Whatever it built is sustaining everything in this universal plane called Earth. And no matter where you are, you can't escape this great architect who created this one verse or this one checkered board that you see at the bottom of that Masonic cosmology. Now, the reason it's made the way it's made, checkered, dealing with longitude, latitude, which can only be possible on a grid, a plane, not a spherical globe, because you wouldn't be dealing with square mileage and square inches on a spherical globe. X marks the spot, the divine intersection. All right, when we talk about the Dogon womb of all worlds, the target symbol, microcosm, macrocosm, binary code, duality, cross streets. So this is the language of the duat, which gives birth to the Trinity. Being when the man meet the woman, okay, the tree, which is the branches, the child, the expansion, the extended part of the cross that creates the intersection. Even though the son has been cut from the mother's umbilical cord, he's not disconnected from the mother because he's still now connected to the invisible umbilical cord of Mother Nature and connected to the earth for survival. And that can be in a macrocosm way viewed as the North Pole as well, which feeds this cosmic egg. Think about that binary code, the arch and the plane, the bow and the arrow. The arrow is able to take flight based on its receiving its energy from the center, based on an apparatus being made like the cosmos, the arch and the plane, the bow and the arrow. It can reenact this microcosmic energy and actually pull energy from the cosmos based on the apparatus that's built like as above, so below. The bow and arrow will able to be a very useful weapon all the way throughout history. So you can see how this divine science of as above, so below, how the creator, the grand architect, which created the first ark, the great mother, being how she showed us how to create energy out of this darkness based upon this duat. And we make batteries this way, negative, positive, a bow and arrow this way, based upon that negative, positive, the stiffness of the stick and the wiggly of the arch, which is bends the feminine. And when they come together and you pull at the center on that woman, when that man is, going, penetrating that woman, just like that arrow is stretching back that feminine part up, and she is absorbing that masculine line. The arrow is the penis. And that Venus or that vagina absorbs that penis to bring new life, just like that arch, that rubbery, the wiggly, the soft part of the weapon being the bow, because it bows, it bends like nut. She's bent. She's the one that's flexible with the curves, She represents the original wave that spoke it all in existence, the sine wave. And because it's able to bend and be flexible, like Bruce Lee say, like water, be like water. From the center, you can pull energy from her, and a new life can be pulled from that vortex, from the center of her, where all life comes, just like the center of the earth. Like that arrow is able to take flight because it's being pulled, because she's absorbing, all right? She's able to bend, she's absorbing that masculine energy. And when you let go of it, boom, he's able to fly. So the moon goddess is carried the archbow because the arrow is the sun. The sunlight shines linear, and the moonlight is a lesser light that shines abstract. It don't shine in a linear pattern. This is why the sun wear the crown or the corona. The king wear the crown, and the queen wear the gown. The moon has the tail, the bride drags the tail, and she has the veil because she's the lesser light. And the husband, his head is exposed because the sun wears the crown, and it's the greater light, but it has no companions with it. So the moon has all of the stars. She give us the mystery. We're able to tell time by her children, the stars. She was always the teacher. The moon arc. This is why the moon goddess has carried the bow and arrow, because the night sky reside behind the sunlight. In other words, the darkness look down upon the sun and watches it shine like a mother watching her son grow up. And this is why the number 13 is feared, because the 13th disciple is the queen of heaven, like you see in the top left corner here. Now, this deity predates Jesus. Again, all patriarchal religions had a goddess that predated the gods that create all of these wars today, because patriarchal gods create out of chaos and rule out of chaos. They're war gods. Okay, they rule out of fear. That's why they create subconscious places like hell to scare you into submission. This is male energy. And when there's no balance, you have a world like today. You have an arrow without a bow, flying without a trajectory, and that's a dangerous arrow. Has no God or no God. And that God is really the goddess, the moon, which sits above the sun. And the phases of the moon is the goddess shooting the archbow, because when you pull back on the bow and you release it and that arrow flies, the whole positioning of the bow and arrow from the moment you pull it back and release reveals all the phases of the moon. This is microcosm, what happens in macrocosm. So even the way we create energy on a simple bow and arrow, which uses a stick and a doggone simple object just such as a rubber band, you can create energy based on bending that band. And the fact that it's able to bend is feminine energy. All right. When you dance, the woman is more, her waist can move more curvy than the man can. The man is more stiff and robotic. The woman, can't nobody dance like the woman. She's the sexy one. So she's the serpent. She's the one who does the hula dance in Hawaii and the belly dance in the Middle East. And this was the way the woman attracted us in the dance when we were in the old world. We still attract this way today in the nightclubs when they cut the dumb music on.